Come one, come all. What better way to spend a nice summer day than going to the amusement park? These fun places seem to be everywhere around the world, offering all sorts of fun rides for all ages. Some rides can go really fast at record-breaking speeds, while others go really high, and some even turn your body upside down when you least expect it. Going on these rides can be a great way to release some adrenaline as you scream at the top of your lungs at the highest peak of the ride. However, not everything is fun and smiles at amusement parks. There have been moments in which a nice, fun, and thrilling ride can turn into a scary incident in just a matter of seconds. Today we're going to be looking at 10 of the scariest amusement park accidents. This video will make you think twice next time you decide to go on a ride. Stay tuned all the way to number 1 and have a look at one accident that you'll find it hard to believe, but unfortunately it is a very true event. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Slingshot at Luna Park, France. Have you ever ridden the Slingshot? It seems like a fun and safe ride, but wait until you watch this video where one of the ropes of the ride snaps and sends the riders out of control. The incident made the cage bump into a column, breaking the leg of a 24-year-old woman who was inside the ride. The woman and her companion had to wait for an hour, suspended in mid-air until firefighters finally came and pulled them down. The people in charge at Luna Park in southern France said that they had never had an experience like this one. They blamed the incident on the manufacturer, claiming it was a malfunction of the elastic that was never supposed to snap. They even closed the ride for investigation. Can you imagine being on this ride at the moment of the incident? Luckily though, no one died, but I'm sure the two people inside were really scared and will probably think twice before getting on another ride like this one. Number 9. Pendulum, Iraq. Alright, not all of the accidents have to do with people who are inside the ride. Sometimes the victims are just in the wrong place at the wrong time. This is exactly what happened back in Nasiriyah, Iraq, back in 2015 when a spectator walked past a moving frisbee in a pendulum-style kind of ride. The speed and strength of the ride sent the man about 6 meters off the platform while the ride just kept going and gaining more speed. Some of the consequences of this incident include a concussion, bruised ribs, and a broken leg. Other than that, the man survived the accident. And to be honest, that's actually quite surprising. I honestly can't imagine what it'd be like to be hit by a ride like this one, and I can't help but wonder what in the world was this man doing here in the first place. You're supposed to wait for your turn out of the ride area, not right in front of it. He was probably really excited to get on the ride, but I guess he now has to wait a bit longer. Number 8. The Top Spin Ride, Pakistan. Now what's scarier than a top spin ride? Falling from the top spin ride is the right answer, and the people from Karachi, Pakistan can tell you all about it. Back in 2018, a group of unlucky riders fell from a height of 12 meters after a ride malfunction in the Askari amusement park. One schoolgirl died and at least 18 other people were injured by this tragic incident. A lot of visitors did come to help the victims, and they claim the incident happened as a result of overloading the ride since after all, it was a free one. I guess it's hard to keep control of people when you let them go on a thrilling ride at no cost. The engineers of the park said they could not know for certain the reason of the accident, but park attendants claimed it was the park's fault and asked for it to be shut down for good, even though it had only been open for a month. Askari is Karachi's first amusement park ever. We hope no more incidents like this happen so Pakistani people can enjoy the fun and thrills of going on rides without having to worry about deadly incidents like this one due to negligence. Number 7. The Mindbender, Canada. Back in the mid-80s, an amusement park in Canada became the scenario for the next accident in our list. The name of this ride is the Mindbender, which is a looping roller coaster in Galaxyland at the West Edmonton Mall in Alberta, Canada. The tragedy started when the fourth car of one of the trains derailed and slid backwards, which made it get out of control and ended up hitting a concrete pillar. The impact of the crash made 4 passengers fall from a height of about 7 meters to the floor right below. 3 of the passengers died, while the 4th one was treated for severe injuries. Another 19 people were also hurt by this and had to be taken to a nearby hospital. As a result, park authorities decided to make some changes, including making the train smaller, which in result reduced the capacity of riders that it could hold. After all, the incident was blamed on poor maintenance and design, so it makes sense that they decided to improve those 2 factors after the deadly event. Number 6. Top Spin, China. Oh, and here's another incident that happened at a top spin ride. Oh man, this video is really making me stay away from these things. This time the incident took place in a Chinese amusement park and someone actually has footage of it. This can be a really tough video to watch, so viewer discretion is advised. In this video, you can see how people are enjoying their ride with no major threat in sight. Suddenly, a girl is seen flying out of her seat. But how come she's the only one going through this? After the incident and some investigation, people came to realize that the poor girl was on a seat with a faulty seatbelt. A closer look at the ride shows the lack of a backup safety system that should prevent riders from fully detaching themselves from the ride in the event of an accident like this one. If these belts are their only safety measure, I'm surprised they've only had one incident. With a ride as strong as the top spin, you'd need more than a few straps to keep people attached to the ride. Number 5. Mission Space USA. Now let's explore one of the most intense rides at a Disney park. I'm talking about Mission Space, which allows riders to experience what space travels look like and considered one of the most intense rides ever. And sometimes it can be so intense that people end up in a hospital. Today, Mission Space has earned a spot on this list as one of those intense experiences actually ended up in someone losing their life. It was a 4-year-old boy who was quite tall for his age. He passed the height requirements, but the ride was probably a bit too much for him to handle. The kid passed out during the ride and was taken to the hospital where he later died. But actually, he's not the only one to go through this. A year after his death, a middle-aged woman also died after an intense experience in Mission Space, and tons of other people have ended up in the emergency room with nausea, dizziness, and chest pain as a result of their time in this controversial ride. I'm not a big fan of amusement parks in the first place, but after hearing about this, I think I'm going to keep my distance even more. Number 4. Wave Swinger, Spain. I always wonder what would happen if the swings of a wave swinger ever came off. I mean, in order for this ride to be safe, those seats need to be properly attached and need to be able to take a lot of weight to stay clear from any incidents. Sadly, in 2007, a woman fell from a wave swinger in Spain. This happened as the 2 chains that were holding her swing snapped off from her ride. She suffered an unfortunate concussion and got 2 broken legs as a result of the impact. The accident was blamed on poor maintenance of the park. The Wave Swinger is one of the most popular carnival rides ever, which means they've existed for quite a long time by now. I guess that just means you can't expect those chains to work properly for that long. They definitely need some maintenance, so make sure you don't get on rides that are too old unless they've been properly taken care of. Number 3. The Disco Dancer, India. Working at an amusement park sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? One of the perks of such a cool job is that you can be one of the first people to try new rides, especially during your breaks. This is what 20 workers at this amusement park decided to do during their free time when they jumped on this ride called the Disco Dancer. Unfortunately, what was supposed to be a fun and short break ended up in tragedy when the spinning wheel of this ride, which is where riders stand, came down and crashing from a height of about 5 meters above ground. It's not just the height, but the speed and the spinning movement of the ride that turned this into a chaotic moment. One of the workers died while 7 others were injured. This led to the arrest of the park's owner and a manager under charges of negligence that turned into the death of a fellow worker. The Disco Dancer was one of the main attractions of the park, but it had stopped operations and floods damaged it. The workers were doing a test run before opening again to the public. Now it's time for today's best pick. The picture I have here today is one that shows everyone's biggest fear when it comes to roller coasters. The fear of falling from a high ride down to your death. While the chances of something like this to happen are quite rare, there are still some documented cases of incidents that involve falls as terrible as this one. Number 2. 20 meters high drop, USA. One of the accidents at the top of this list is the very sad story of a woman who fell from more than 20 meters down to her death. The unfortunate incident happened at the Six Flags over Texas Park in Arlington. She fell down to her death after the ride's first descent. The 52-year-old woman was not properly strapped to the ride, which made her slip out of the vehicle while her children were watching. Her daughter and son desperately wanted to jump out of the ride and get help for their mom as soon as the ride came to a full stop. Other park visitors claimed that the lady had expressed some safety concerns prior to starting the ride. They say she felt that she was not properly secured as the coaster was about to take off. There's a woman who was in line and witnessed the terrible accident. She says that everyone's belt clicked 3 times while the victim's only clicked once. She asked if this was okay and the staff said yes, and no wonder she fell off. I guess this is a good lesson for staff at amusement parks. Always listen to the riders and never underestimate their safety concerns.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. Haunted Castle at Six Flags Great Adventure, USA. I can tell you that rides today are safer than ever. Why is that? Because park owners and managers have learned from mistakes from the past to make the safest rides we have today. At least most of them do, hopefully. Let me tell you though, even though the 80s seem like a lot of fun, they definitely don't look like the best years for amusement parks. So many incidents happened in this decade, including the one at the top of our list, a fire at the Haunted Castle in Six Flags Great Adventure. The fire started on the evening of May 11th, 1984, and it was fanned by the air conditioning system while 29 visitors were inside the attraction. An eyewitness claimed she saw the fire as she walked inside, but she thought it was part of the experience. It all changed when people started yelling, "Fire," and they had to evacuate. Unfortunately, a group of 8 teenagers died while one of their friends survived and was taken to a park nearby to calm down and receive proper medical attention. Other survivors had to be treated for smoke inhalation. Later investigations claimed to uncover that the building didn't have proper permits, a certificate of occupancy, or even fire and smoke detectors. This tragic event made neighboring similar attractions to be shut down and be inspected before continuing operations. While it's very sad, I guess it takes a terrible event like this for people to take safety matters a bit more seriously. And rest in peace the people who have lost their lives because of it. Which of these do you think is the scariest, and what's the scariest amusement park experience you've had? Let us know in the comment section below. And that's our video for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.